Hey guys, Liz Wheeler here. I have one more best of episode for you. I think you're really gonna like it. We worked really hard preparing this, and I'm not even gonna tell you what the topic is because I want you to be surprised. So drum roll please. 3, 2, 1, here it is. Okay, let's get to the video. This very good video. There's two parts of this video that I find particularly interesting. The premise of this video, James O'Keefe at his new organization, the OKeefe Media Group, or as he refers to it, OMG, did an undercover sting where the journalist went on the date with a Fox News producer. I think this guy worked for Fox News at night, their 11 p.m. show. And this Fox News producer, unbeknownst to him, he was being recorded, and he's spilling the beans about what the internal discussions at Fox are related to the reason that Tucker Carlson got fired, right?
$144 million to settle that Dominion lawsuit.
Oh, that was with the Dominion company. What happened with that? Like,
they gave him money, and part of it. They say it wasn't part of it, but we're learning that Tucker getting fired was part of that.
Tucker getting fired was part of the Dominion lawsuit?
It was part of the settlement. Yeah, he was asked. When it's corporate media and you're beholden to advertisers, I guess.
Well, it's either the Pillow Guy or it's brought to you by Pfizer, right? It's like,
it's big pharma.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like we would do all this stuff about COVID vaccines, and we're getting money from Pfizer.
We're getting what?
And we're getting money from Pfizer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
big pharma, big tech.
You know, you're talking about like the shady players, like your buddy Michael Rosa, like
that. He's the one who's crafting Dominion's message. That's a whole story in and of itself.
This is now getting very, very interesting, but we're not done here. Further along in James O'Keefe's video, in this undercover sting, listen to the information, and this is never before reported information to my knowledge. I've not seen this anywhere else until this video from James O'Keefe. This Fox News producer describes exactly who coordinated this hit job against Tucker Carlson. Take a listen.
Sean also told us about his buddy Mike LaRosa, who, according to his Twitter account, was the press secretary for Jill Biden. Michael LaRosa is now working for a PR company called Penta, whose primary client happens to be Dominion Voting. Sean says that no one has put this together. Well, we're certainly glad that Sean put it together for OMG and all of you.
You look at those little connects and you're like, someone who worked for the Biden White House was literally crafting a message for Dominion. So you're like, of course. So he left working for Joe Biden to start this PR firm or work with this firm whose sole client was Dominion doing their comps. It's like right from the White House to go defend Dominion. So it's like, when you know those little moving parts, you're like, everyone's shitty.
Well, so
left the White House to literally go take down the news outlet that was being unfavorable to his boss. No one's talking about that.
You know, you're talking about like the shady players, like your buddy Michael Rosa. Like, what is, you know, like it's kind of public out there that he's like at this Penta group. He worked for Joe Biden.
No one's put it together.
You said he was pulling the strings. What did you exactly mean by that? You know, like with
this, that he's the one who's crafting Dominion's message to the public. That he's running their
to who?
To the media.
To the media.
But no one's picking up on the fact that here's someone who used to work for Joe Biden.
Joe or Joe or both?
Technically. Worked in the administration.
Worked in the administration.
Going after a voting company. Working with a voting company that's taken down Fox News segment. That's a whole story in and of itself.
Let me tell you about revolutionary relief. Are you suffering from joint and muscle pain? Some 52 million US adults claim to fight this every day. I want to tell you about a new product called Revolutionary Relief. These days, there are lots of pain products on the market, and they make lots of claims. So what makes Revolutionary Relief different? It's their Duo for Pain system. Here's how it works. First, a topical roll-on, it's FDA registered, that goes to work directly on painful joints and muscles from the outside for immediate relief. Then the gel capsules tackle inflammation inside for long-lasting relief. Both products contain natural botanicals along with a patented, actually plant-sourced ingredient called Canopia Active, scientifically tested and shown to be 3,500% more effective than similar natural pain products while being safe. Right now, you can try Revolutionary Relief with this special limited offer. Revolutionary Relief is so confident you will see and feel the difference. They're offering their Duo for Pain system free. Yes, free. That's 2 products, the roll-on and the gels, absolutely free. But don't wait. The free offer is only good for the first 1,000 offers. So hurry, go to www.revrelief.com/free. You won't be disappointed. revrelief.com/free. All right, with me now is a senior contributor to American Greatness, Julie Kelly. Julie, good to see you.
You too, Liz. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so these tapes from the Capitol that Kevin McCarthy gave to Tucker Carlson, whose team is analyzing them right now. We expect to see the footage compiled into programming here in the next couple of weeks.
You're going to see a big contrast in what the January 6th Select Committee cherry-picked out of this surveillance video. Now, the surveillance video, it's important just for everyone to understand. This is what was captured by the Capitol Police's closed-circuit TV security system on January 6th. And I believe they also have some of it from January 5th. So this covers the entire Capitol campus. And as you know, Liz, that's huge. So it will be a lot of buildings and outside areas that aren't relevant to the events of January 6th. But what they'll have is the security video from all different angles, inside and outside the building. This video has been under protective orders ordered by the Justice Department, signed off on by federal judges in D.C. Capitol Police claim that its security information shouldn't have been released. DOJ has designated it highly sensitive government material that is under even 30, 45-second clips, Liz, are under protective orders. Defendants and their defense lawyers have very strict rules as to how they can view or access this video. I mean, this is really egregious that this trove of video has not been made public before now. Because they are trying to cover up various aspects of January 6th. And you even saw on Monday, when this announcement was made, Benny Thompson, who is the chairman of the January 6th Select Committee, came out and condemned Kevin McCarthy for giving this video trove to Tucker Carlson. This shouldn't be a political fight. If this were a terror attack on the American people, which is what this DOJ, Joe Biden himself, the House Democrats, even some Republicans claim is a terror attack comparable to 9/11, then the American people should see all of it. If it were any other terror attack, so to speak, you would have had newspapers and journalists and legal defense funds and all sorts of entities screaming for the release of this video. Instead, it's been covered up. And so that's basically where it started. And that's why you're starting to see the left and people like Benny Thompson condemn and reject the release of this video. That's not, Liz, because the video supports the narrative, right? It's because the video is going to be explosive. It will have both incriminating and exculpatory evidence for these January 6th defendants as we see this entire official narrative crumble under the weight of actual evidence.
That's the part that gets me. I'm looking forward to the evidence that debunks what we were hearing from the January 6th Select Committee, what we were hearing from the elected Democrats, what we were hearing from the mainstream media. But more than that, I don't understand the justification for indefinitely imprisoning these people who were charged on January 6th, but not allowing them access to exculpatory evidence. I mean, that's unconstitutional, is it not?
It absolutely is. So much of this is unconstitutional, Liz. And you know this because you've covered my work and we've talked before. But the real villains here are the judges on the DC District Court. They are the ones who have enabled the total erosion of the constitutional due process, First, Fourth, Sixth Amendment rights of these defendants, a speedy trial, the presumption of innocence. I mean, you have men who aren't even accused of violent crime, Liz, who have been in jail for 2 years awaiting trial on ridiculous concocted charges like obstruction of an official proceeding or seditious conspiracy. I mean, this is really a travesty of justice, what's happening in DC. And the concealment of the surveillance video is a big part of it. You have defendants who still don't see all of the surveillance evidence, video, or even body cam footage or anything related to their case. And their trials are already ongoing. Many of them have taken plea deals because they see what's happening in DC with these juries returning guilty verdicts in record time on practically every single defendant. So time is of the essence. And the January 6th committee has been complicit in violating the constitutional rights of these people. They don't care.
So let me talk to you about Cozy Earth sheets. You guys know that I have Cozy Earth sheets on my bed at my house right now. And I tell you this because I love them and I know you will love them too. They're basically like the luxurious adult version of jersey sheets, the t-shirt sheets. I had this set of sheets in college that was my favorite, except these t-shirt sheets got really baggy. This is not the case with Cozy Earth. It's as soft as jersey sheets, but it's like the adult version. They're smooth, they're tight, they're beautiful. I have the white ones on my bed because that fits the motif of my bedroom, but they have other colors that you can choose from. They're naturally temperature regulating, so you don't wake up sticky even if it's the summer. You are just temperature perfect all year round. They have a 100-night sleep trial, so you can sleep on them, you can try them out. If you don't love them, you can get your money back. And for a limited time, you can save up to 40% on Cozy Earth. Just go to CozyEarth.com, enter my promo code Liz40 at checkout to save up to 40%. You can try them. If you don't sleep cooler, you can send them back for a full refund. That's CozyEarth.com, promo code Liz40. So this 10-year-old baby girl, picture a 10-year-old girl, a very small child. She said her mask was making her sick, so she put her mask under her nose. She didn't even take it fully off. She pulled it under her nose. She was on the school bus at the time, and the bus driver confronted her about it and told her to wear it above her nose. When she resisted, that's the word the bus driver used, when she resisted, he slapped her in the face. He slapped her in the face. The little girl then had the presence of mind after she had this abuse inflicted on her. She asked to get off the bus, and the slapping bus driver refused. He would not allow this girl to get off the bus after he abused her. When I say that face mask mania is nuts, this story infuriates me beyond belief. I cannot imagine how I would react if my little girl, my baby daughter, were subjected to this kind of abuse, especially for something like pulling the face mask under your nose because you felt sick. What would you expect her to do? Do you want her to pass out? Do you want her to throw up? Do you want her to continue to feel ill? The bus driver's name is Bertram Jaquez. This happened in the Fremont County School District, okay? The school district issued a statement. They did fire the bus driver. This is their statement, though. They said, "We believe it is never okay to lay a hand on a child. The district responded quickly to the situation by placing the driver on administrative leave so that we could fully investigate the incident. Local police were involved during the investigation as well as us being in contact with the child's family. The driver's action justified termination of employment as it goes against district policy and our values." Then they go on. They say, "We are very saddened by this incident. Our goal every day is to transport students safely to school and back home, but that can only happen when everyone, including students and staff, follows the rules. We are currently working to identify next steps to help our drivers with strategies designed to support a safe ride to and from school," end quote. That can only happen, they say. A safe ride can only happen when everyone, including students and staff, follow the rules. If this isn't victim shaming, I don't know what it is. They're literally this close to justifying the child abuse inflicted on this tiny little girl by a grown man, the bus driver. If the rules aren't followed by students, then we can't facilitate a safe drive. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The Danish study proved that with COVID-19, cloth masks and surgical masks do not make a statistical difference in the transmission of COVID-19. The only type of masks that actually work to stop the transmission or prevent some of the transmission of the COVID-19 virus are N95s. Okay, we've known this all along. Dr. Fauci knew this last year. That's why he flip-flopped on masks so many times. We all know this. N95s are the only type of mask that work against this type of virus. The masks themselves don't do anything except obviously make this child sick because they're not wearing N95s. But who cares about any of that? Who cares about the facts before you slap a child in the face for pulling her mask under her nose because it was making her feel sick and then refusing to let her off the bus when she asked? Where does this fear, this delusion, this anti-science paranoia come from? Let me talk to you about American Hartford Gold. Now, I don't mean to sound doom and gloom here, but I do feel like we're on the brink of a massive financial crisis. Don't you? First, we had Silicon Valley Bank collapse, and then we had Signature Bank collapse, then we had First Republic Bank collapse. Meanwhile, our Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, admitted to us that the FDIC and the Fed are going to pick and choose which banks to rescue and which not to rescue based basically on wokeness. So my question is our money really safe in this system? I'll be honest and tell you, I don't feel confident that it is. That's why I highly recommend you do what I did. Call the only precious metals dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They make it simple and easy to protect your savings, your retirement accounts, your money with physical gold and silver. With one short phone call, they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside your IRA or 401k. If you call them right now, they'll give you up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. So don't wait. Call them now. Call 866-781-7499. That's 866-781-7499 or text Liz to 65532. Again, the phone number is 866-781-7499 or text Liz to 65532. So leftist TV host Marc Lamont Hill asked anti-critical race theory activist Chris Ruffo what he likes about being white. Take a listen.
And if I were to say to you right now, Christopher, what do you like about being white? What would you say?
I don't know. Again, it's such an amorphous term. It's like a census term or a
but can you do me a favor? Indulge me. Indulge me for one. We're running out of time. Indulge me for a minute. I understand you see it as all these things, but you surely recognize that the world sees you as white. You know the world reads you as white. And if you were to ask me some things I like about being black, I could talk about cultural norms. I could talk about tradition. I could talk about the kind of commonalities I feel around the diaspora. If I were to ask you what, particularly if you're saying whiteness is a thing that is being constructed as negative and shouldn't be, name something positive that you like about being white.
Well, sure. I'll answer with a thing. There's a lot of documents that are floating around public schools that say things like timeliness, showing up on time is a white supremacist value or a white dominant value. Things like rationality, things like the Enlightenment, things like objectivity. And these are very strange things to be ascribed to a racial identity. My view is that these are actually should be ascribed to every individual human being, regardless of whatever racial category we impose on them.
But Christopher, that doesn't answer the question, though. You're telling me you're making straw men about things that are ascribed to whiteness that you think are wrongfully ascribed to whiteness. I'm saying if whiteness isn't a negative thing, and there's something that that whiteness actually shouldn't be constructed as all negative, name something positive about that you believe is positive about being white.
Again, I don't buy into the framework that the world can be reduced into these metaphysical categories of whiteness and blackness. I think that's wrong. I think we should look at people as individuals. I think we should celebrate different people's accomplishments. And again, I think the idea you mentioned Ignatieff says the goal is to, quote, abolish the white race. In any other context, this would be interpreted as a near genocidal slur. I don't buy into it. The reason I'm not going to answer your question is I reject that categorization. I think of myself as an individual human being with my own capabilities. And I would hope that we could both judge each other as individuals and come to common values on that basis.
Okay, so he obviously knocked that answer out of the park. He was caught off guard by it because it's a trick question. He knocked it out of the park, so kudos to him on that. What he also should have said, well, I like being white because that's how God made him. That's how God made me, in God's image. Likewise, Marc Lamont Hill should like being black because that is how God made him, in God's image. There's no racial superiority or inferiority in God's image. But what we heard, the question from Marc Lamont Hill, this is critical race theory. It's challenged by Ruffo. Marc Lamont Hill was essentially defending it. And that's the problem with critical race theory. We hear this term a lot, critical race theory. We hear about the battleground in public schools over critical race theory. We hear leftists defending it, just calling it a perspective. But this is the problem with critical race theory. It demonizes white people because critical race theory views everything through this prism of race instead of viewing people like individuals. So we have to ask the question, why does critical race theory do this? Because it's not pure racial hatred. It's not bigotry necessarily. It is bigotry in action, but it's not bigotry in intention. Racialism is actually a tactic. It's a tool used by critical race theory and critical race theorists to tear down American institutions in order to impose Marxism. Think for yourself. Use critical thought, but not critical theory. Question authority. Follow the facts. And do not let government or corporate wokeism or anybody bully you into being a sheep. Please subscribe to my show on Apple Podcasts, download it, give me a 5-star rating, write a glowing review for me, because this helps us move up the charts, which helps other people discover the show, which helps people hear reality. Thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. This is The Liz Wheeler Show. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button below, and ring the bell to make sure you never miss a video.